Welcome back to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I am the Clydesdale. We love to do fitness, and these are my friends. I have my co-host, Kat Shear, and special friends, Kelsey Kiel and Ashleigh Wosny, here with us from Team OBA, second place Granite Games, on to the CrossFit Games. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the way I have this kind of set up in my notes is I have some questions for each of you separately, and then we'll get into it'll funnel into a team conversation to kind of finish off the hour.
Cool.
So I'm going to start with Ashleigh because I learned a lot about Ashleigh in my research. So you were 2015 second fittest teenager in the world.
Yeah. That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
So what I read that you were doing gymnastics and soccer, started doing CrossFit as kind of a supplement to all that, and fell in love.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Oh, gymnastics was just kind of something to I wasn't super into sports growing up. And then I would get sick of things just really quickly. So did that for a couple of months, and then soccer, I kind of fell in love with it from the beginning. And growing up, I was always really, really skinny, and I would get pushed off the ball a lot. And my dad was saying that we needed to build muscle and stuff so I could start getting a little bit stronger, and started CrossFit. And then kind of like anybody, drank the Kool-Aid really hard day one. And I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it kind of just took off from there.
So Kelsey, you started as a soccer player as well, but I don't think you ever got pushed off the ball.
Nah. I was the opposite of Ashleigh. I was out there. I was known as an enforcer on the field. So
enforcer.
Yeah. In some ways, isn't that why you team up on CrossFit teams, because you bring different skills to the table?
Absolutely. I think it's so funny because Ashleigh and I think, have a lot of similarities, but as athletes. And then she also pushes me. So it's the perfect pairing, because there are things that, I try to push her on, but man, does she push me on a lot. Yeah.
So neither one of you are new to this team thing. Ashleigh, you were on Reebok CrossFit 1 in 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was the Spencer Hendel, Austin Maliello team?
Yes. Yeah. Everybody out of Reebok in Boston. So I remember seeing Kelsey, and I'm going to take her down, and now we're on a team together. Kelsey's team did beat our team though. So.
So what was it like, Ashleigh? You're coming off a team podium. It's 2018, and two so-called legends of the sport have asked you to be a member of the team. What was that like for you?
Kind of like both experiences at the games. It was never anything expected, really. It was just something that I had always enjoyed for so long. And I, starting CrossFit, had always wanted to go to the games, but I felt like it was something really later down the road. Spencer was actually the head coach of the gym that I was training at. So it was someone I was always training with, and kind of like Kelsey and I, we were always giving each other a good push. And then it came basically out of nowhere where they thought about starting a team. And I think 2018 was actually that one year that they were making that shift from 6 to 4. So originally it was going to be me, Austin, James Hobart, and then Cassandra, James's wife, and then this girl, Erica. So we had already established the team. And then I think a month before the open, they're like, just kidding, 4 people. So that was cool as well.
So who got the boot? James and Cassandra?
No, I was on the team with Cassandra. So James ended up stepping out, and then the other girl, Erica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that awkward?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
No one ever wants to get booted.
So I found a Spotify playlist of yours.
Oh, did you know?
Dirty workout training.
Oh,
Actual Saturdays?
I don't. It was on Spotify. It's under your name. Maybe it's looks like something you would CrossFit to.
Oh,
Hardcore hip hop.
that sounds right up my alley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you make a Spotify playlist?
Yeah. We have a
Okay.
Spotify. Yeah, that was probably me. I think I have it under a stage name though. So
I think you forgot on this one. It's the only one that's attributed to your name.
okay, then that's me. That's definitely me then.
Okay.
That was before you got famous.
Okay, yeah. Must have been.
Yeah. Well, it was recently updated as late as April of this year.
Oh yeah, probably me. Yeah. It sounds about right. Fits the bill.
It's on brand.
Yeah.
So are there arguments about the workout music for the team?
Honestly, Kelsey says no, but
Wait, yeah, sometimes.
a little bit. I feel like we're all so different as far as music. Like I want something like hard gangster rap. Kelsey likes, what did you play? Shania Twain the other day? And then
Oh, she called you out, Kelsey.
Damn.
I played a good throwback.
No, it's Leona Lewis. It's Leona Lewis.
Leona Lewis, yeah.
We were doing a workout and she's playing.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
And then Nick listens. He's now a dad, father of two. He plays like Disney and Kanto heavy metal remixes. And then Joey is just like straight screamo. So they're all very different.
I feel like I can listen to anything except for the screamo. Like I'm in for anything.
It's tough. It's tough to deal with.
It sounds like we need to curate a team playlist for you. It would be very eclectic.
Oh.
I bet a lot of people would listen to it.
Get some stuff out because anyone who listens to that music is hiding stuff that's never good.
So before we went on the air, I was telling Ashleigh that I've known Joey for many years because he lived here in Columbus, and I've dropped into his gym at Grandview, and that is what they played at Grandview back in the day when I would drop in. It was like screamo from beginning to end.
I see why you didn't stay.
That was not my home gym. I just dropped in there occasionally. So you also are a coach, Ashleigh, and so are you, Kelsey. Are you still coaching during this time, or are you putting that on the back burner?
You want to go first?
Well, I don't coach CrossFit anymore. I used to coach CrossFit. Now I coach nutrition, and I still currently work for Black Iron. And my clients are pretty great. They know that they need to submit their check-ins on time so that I can get back to them, and I have my whole day structured pretty much every single day. But I'm still coaching. They know that I'll be competing, obviously. So they'll, give me some grace with my reply times during that week. But I'm coaching. It's just not as involved as Ashleigh is, who has to, be there in person coaching every single day. So.
Kelsey, I have a question for you about coaching nutrition. With you being out there sort of in the public eye more so than maybe some other coaches, do you have a sense of sort of responsibility or accountability to your clients to make sure that you're sort of practicing what you preach? Or are you careful to let them know that maybe your goals are different than theirs?
I think I've been working for Black Iron now. I think I'm into my 6th year. I feel super grateful. I work with solely performance-based clients right now.
Okay.
So only people, well, granted, there's all the mixings of nutrition coaching, but for the majority of the time, we're focused on a performance goal of some sort, which I think that kind of aligns with what I'm doing in my life. But there's definitely a learning curve with that, like just kind of separating the two as much as possible, but also like I have a coach as well with Black Iron, and it is my life, and that's a big part of my life is food and nutrition and body image and all those things that are wrapped up in my life that I try to stay super honest with my clients when I'm talking to them one-on-one, but also with what I share on social media. And yeah, I think that if I stay true to myself, then my clients also see that and respect that.
Okay. It's something I struggle with. I'm a nutrition coach, and
Yeah.
opening up a new gym in the last couple of months, my own nutrition is in the dumpster for sure. And I get clients that, are wondering what I'm doing or how I'm doing and things. And I just have to remind them, like, losing fat right now is not one of my goals. So, you and I have different goals, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious to talk to other coaches to see how they handle that.
I love how you answered that too, because my nutrition coach and I just changed my goals from weight loss to performance, because I am not motivated by a number on a scale. Like, I am more motivated by completing actions that I couldn't do before.
Absolutely.
And being smaller will help me with that, right? Being less of a Clydesdale will help me do the things I need to do in the gym. And so we just revamped like all my goals to performance based as opposed to weight itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's huge for anyone. We don't have to go off on like a total nutrition tangent, but like the number on the scale, I say it to my clients regularly that that's just one data point, like we can look at that. If you are super into looking at the inches and blah, 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 that's cool and all, but why not like your mile times or your back squats, like percentages, even if it's incremental. I think it's always more fun to look at those kinds of things.
Yeah. And if you're doing the things you need to do to get those performance goals, chances are the body's going to follow.
Exactly.
Might not be as quickly as you expect, but you'll get the body you're supposed to have, to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
True.
So we actually have a question in our comments that I want to address nutrition before we move on. And it's our friend Yash. I need a nutrition coach. Can you pull it up, Charlie? There we go. I need a nutrition coach. It's hard finding one who can cater for me. I don't eat fish, meat, or eggs. Weight loss is just calories in and out. It doesn't motivate me either.
Yeah. So obviously if that was it, calories in, calories out, if that was it, like everyone would
need us. We'd be out of work.
Coach. The cool thing about I'll just plug Black Iron Nutrition in here. We have coaches across the board. We have a whole vegan people who are very good at working with vegan clients. We have vegetarian clients. We have our pregnancy and postpartum section of like coaches who just work with people going through pregnancy and postpartum life. We have my track, which is the performance track. We have Thrive, which focuses just on really more of the mindfulness. They don't even track macros. So we have all these different, and then we have the lifestyle, which is focused on like lifestyle changes and habits and all of that. So I fully believe that Black Iron, even if you're kind of like a troubled client, people are like, oh, I don't want to track my macros, or I am vegan. We have coaches that are very well versed in all of those kinds of categories. So
yeah, I love the clients that are like, I won't eat, I don't like vegetables. I just don't like any vegetables. I'm like, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
That's trouble.
You can, I promise.
So how would Yash go about getting in touch with someone at Black Iron?
Yeah, we have our website is blackironnutrition.com. And we actually have like a whole coach pairing quiz that you can kind of like answer a bunch of questions. We have a whole tab that goes over all of our different programs. And you can just sign up to work with us. And, we, based off of that coach pairing quiz, some people have wait lists. So you have to, depending on who you get and that kind of thing and what track you're looking to go for, you can figure it out all from our website. We also have Instagram, but
if I say I like French Bulldogs, will I get matched up with you? Is that how that works?
9 out of 10 times. We have another coach with some Frenchies, so
okay,
you might get Maggie.
French Bulldogs whose names start with the letter O.
Yeah, that's passed out snoring.
Guarantee.
So I know we took a derail there, but we go wherever the conversation leads.
Love it.
So Ashleigh, back to you and coaching. You're coaching still during this?
Yeah, so I coach at Open Box Athletics. Makes sense, right? But it's actually been really great. It's one of the first gyms that I've worked for that equally cares about coaching and their coaches, but also cares about like the competitive side of CrossFit. So I've coached at a bunch of different gyms, and there were some gyms that I coached at that it was just about coaching and they wanted you to coach your class. They didn't care about the road to the games or any of the other training and stuff. But Dave does a really good job, and the members, of supporting us as much as we support the community there, which I think is really cool. As soon as we qualified, Dave is like, I'm going, and he's leaving his entire family. Dave's owner of the gym, and it just showed us so much support. Like when we went to Granite Games, we had one workout with a short bar, and Dave, the owner, was like, we don't have any, I'm buying 12. So it's just nice to be surrounded by that much support from the community. Like I said, that a community that we also support every day, coaching, I think is really cool. So in times like this, when training volume's going up, I need more sleep, communicating that to the staff and to Dave, he's more than happy to give me a little bit time off in order to recover and focus on training, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's part of like the affiliate cup is the affiliate cup now, right? It's not super teams. It's not just you're taking these 4 great athletes and putting them together and making a team. You're representing that affiliate. So it makes sense that they'd be behind you, support you. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So now a couple for Kelsey. Last time I had you on, sorry, frog in my throat. Last time we had you on, we were talking bobsled. You were, after we went off the air, you were kind of like, I'm not sure how much longer this is going to last. And here we are, you're back in CrossFit. So I have a question about that. In that interview, we talked about body image and how you were very uncomfortable in a bobsledder's body.
Yeah.
Now that you're back in CrossFit, how much better do you feel?
That's a loaded question because I feel like when I think back to the year that I spent bobsledding, well, it was over a year, but a year immersed in that sport. Not only was it hard mentally with like just changing of training. I mean, the training for bobsled, like I went over, was astronomically different than CrossFitting. But I look back on that year and it was just a very trying year, for a lot of reasons. And coming back to CrossFit, it was almost like the break that I didn't even know I needed for coming back to CrossFit, because I have said it a million times, but I'm having more fun this season with these people, with this gym, than I've ever had doing CrossFit and competing and beating our bodies up every single day and all of that. Like it's so funny because it's just not even connected to what I look like. And granted, I like feeling equally strong as I am aerobically fit, which I wasn't feeling that way when I was training bobsled. So I think that probably has something to do with it. But I think just the fact that I'm back in a sport that really celebrates the process every single day, as opposed to like the outcome and the results of your push times kind of thing. Like, I think that's why I'm so happy doing what I'm doing right now, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it's funny when Ashleigh was talking about how they went from 6 to 4 and they had to let a person go. Last time we talked to you, you've been in that situation and you've been that person. So why why go team again?
Well, it's so funny because we're laughing because when I was on Invictus Boston, I was technically benched in the early 2019 season, and Ashleigh took my spot.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so funny?
That's great.
Hilarious. We've come so far.
I decided not to go, but that is initially what happened.
Oh, it's so funny. I don't know. The thing about this season is I feel like OBA is such like, I don't know. I walked into that gym and I had never met Joey in person before. I know that we competed in 2019 at the same time, but I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. And And I walked in that gym, I think it was like August of last year. And the first thing he's like, Kelsey, Kiel, what's your plan for this season? And as soon as he said that, I'm like, I have no plans. I was coming off of bobsled. I knew that I wasn't going to be going back. I felt very unfit as a CrossFitter. And I just wanted to like see if that's what I wanted to do again. Like I had no idea. And the team thing didn't come together. It was almost like, hey, we kind of could put this team together. And then I reached out to Ashleigh. And as soon as she was kind of like, hell yeah, let's do it. Then that's when we were like, all right, we're doing it. But Joey and I definitely agreed that we didn't want to just go to participate. We really wanted to go to the CrossFit Games and fight for a spot at the top. So that was kind of what we had decided, like, hey, if it's meant to be, it's going to work out and we're going to have this crew together and we're going to make a run for it. But that was also before we knew if Nick and Ashleigh could be in. And so I remember saying to Joey, like, hey, if it doesn't work, like, let's just give it a run as individuals and we'll still train together and try to get as fit as possible. But I just feel like everything aligned for us this year.
So Ashleigh, same question to you. You're still a very young athlete, accomplished as a teen, done some very high level team stuff. Why team this year for you?
I had just gone through a transition of like not competing for a while. I would do the open and everything, but essentially took about 2 years off. And team, I feel like can always be like a very hit or miss opportunity. It always sounds really cool. And then there's an issue of like you not gelling 100% with your team. That's like when Kelsey was just talking about how I benched her. I decided not to go because I was like, this just isn't the team for me. And I told myself I would only do team if I knew it was a good fit. And I just wasn't willing to put myself through the nags of training every day and how hard it can be with people that like you just don't really like. So meeting them initially, I remember I drove to Philly. It took me like 12 hours. I rented a Tesla, which was like the worst mistake of my life because like a 4-hour trip ended up being 12 with all the charging stations I had to do. But walked in really tired. First people I saw was Kelsey and Joey, and Joey's like 12-foot dog ran towards me. And just like with one training day, I knew that like these were my people, like my ride or die. And it just, I knew from there it was like gonna happen.
So was one of the stipulations that you don't have a bench? It's just the four of you?
No, yeah, there's none. We got no alternate, so if one goes out, we're all out.
There you go. That's a safe way to play it.
Ride or die for sure.
So it's funny you say that because I've talked to people who've been on teams who have told me they will never, ever do a team again because of how bad it was with the people they were at. And I interviewed a lot of teams at the semifinals this year. And a lot of them, it was hard just to get them close enough to fit in the camera to have a conversation. And you guys are immediately like all over each other. Like, yeah, let's do this. Woo.
Yeah, we're like,
And so it was really refreshing to see that.
What was the question? Sorry.
No question.
No
just
question,
a
just a comment.
Remember
an observation.
Scott, remember at West Coast Classic when the Invictus teams were like screaming and yelling at each other on those like burpee over the worm? That was so awkward to watch. Like we're right at the finish line and they're right there. I mean, literally they're like hitting each other and like punching each other and screaming and yelling to get over. It was, yeah, that was crazy.
Happen. I mean, it's really intense and stuff, but like we even said it going into Granite Games. We're a new team. We didn't really know what was going to happen. And Kelsey and I were like, we're just going to have fun. And like, whatever happens, it's going to happen. And might as well just have the best time with my best friends.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
It was obvious at Granite that you guys were there to have a good time.
Yeah.
It was almost like the competition was second to you guys having a good time. Ashleigh, do you train the worm? Not the one that the team picks up, but the dance move on the turf.
I came out of the womb doing the worm, so all natural, baby.
You made the TikTok today, the CrossFit
I did,
TikTok.
yeah.
Did you see that?
It was a hot remix.
Yeah. When you guys were grittying between your snatches on Friday night, I was howling. That was like, I think, my favorite part of the weekend.
It's so funny because I was so nervous for that snatch event, and I think because I was a little bit traumatized from past experiences that I was like, I'm meant to be able to snatch well. And if I miss this snatch, I don't want to let my team down. And it was such a good learning experience for me to be able to communicate to Ashleigh, like, well, first of all, I know these 3 other people on my team are going to love me no matter what, even if I miss a snatch, which is pretty cool. But also I just communicated to Ashleigh, like, I'm going to be so nervous for this event. It's a snatch. It's such a technical movement. And I could just like feel that nervousness, like the sweaty hands and, the shakiness. And I said, I need to have fun the whole time. Like, I need to just smile and dance and let the energy out like that. And Ashleigh fucking delivered. Like, she,
oh my God,
just like,
let's go.
And it was just
she went all in.
She just helped me then also like release that. I mean, obviously I was nervous, but it was just like, no, we have done this 12 times already, like in practice. So many times. But
It's gotta help too that that like your teammates have faith in you. That they're not like, oh shit, here comes the snatch. Kelsey's gonna screw this up. Like that they show you that they have confidence in you, and that's got to be such a huge confidence builder for yourself as well.
Yeah, and that, like, I don't know, it's just huge that my self-worth isn't like tied up in my success or failure on a snatch ladder
of an execution. Yeah.
Like my teammates, we're still going to go home and love each other after that kind of thing. Like, they're not going to like be mad at me and hate me because I missed something, which is new, which is cool.
Yeah. It's helpful.
Yeah. So can I ask, in your past team's experience, was that not the case?
There were a few times that was not the case. Correct. Yeah. But learning experience,
Yeah. And does that affect you like mentally going into an event like this that you should do well, and it's almost like a PTSD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, I had like a total emotional breakdown before the Granite Games. And like I had to like sit there. I'm a crier, so I'm like needing to tell my team like what's going on in between my ears. And I that's when I told them, like, that's when I communicated to Ashleigh. I did one session right before Granite Games with Dawn Fletcher from The Driven Mind. And she, some of the things she was like getting out of me was that like, oh, I'm worried I'm going to let my team down on the burpees or the run part of that workout. And it's like, she said like, well, are you going to be the fastest burpier? And I'm like, no. She's like, okay, then let's figure out what you can do to bring to the table like a different strength during that workout, whether it's like keeping your teammates up or whatever it is. And one of the things that really struck me from that session was to over communicate to my team. Like, they might already know that I need this or that, but that's why I said to Ashleigh, like, I need you to just keep me light and keep me having fun. And I just communicated to the team that I was like really nervous, and that like maybe I had a little bit of PTSD. Like, I'm scared that if I mess something up, you guys will hate me or be mad at me or something like that. And it was almost like, I don't know, it was really good to get it out on the table, and we were able to talk about it before the weekend started.
Well, it was Sunday morning that was Endure the Sled with the very long run. And you guys took second.
Yeah.
Running workout. What? Let's go.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's also some biking and sled pushes in there. So
right. There was definitely areas to make up some ground.
Right.
And you guys can push a sled. That is evident. You made up a lot of ground on that sled. So you said how the first three of you got together. How did Nick get involved?
What was you three originally, right?
Yeah, so we don't have to go into like super detailed, but we kind of had a team of 4. We had another girl and Nick, and so Joey was kind of like the organizer. He had talked to Nick, he had talked to the other female, and then he kind of brought me in the loop a little bit. And then it was like a couple weeks went by in a group chat, and I always talk about that meme where like someone's like looking through the grass in a group chat, but they're like just looking and they're not contributing to the group chat at all. That was kind of what it was like with the other female. And so eventually I just straight up asked her, I was like, do you want to do this? Do you want to go team? What's going on here? And we found out that she had actually moved from Philadelphia, multiple states away. So she couldn't have even been on the team, but that wasn't communicated to us. So us three that was when I was talking to Joey and like, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. That's when I started reaching out to people that I knew and shot Ashleigh a text. We got on the phone after. She's like, yeah, let me take till the end of the weekend to think about it. I got off the phone. I'm like, there's no chance. Like, she won't. Then the end of the weekend comes. She's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Knowing the chemistry of the three of you and realizing that 4th person sort of wasn't going to fit in, what were some of the criteria that you were thinking about when you decided to reach out to Ashleigh? Like, and not just personality, but like technical too. Like,
yeah. Well, we actually, Nick, Joey, and I had never been in the same room together until Ashleigh had already committed, which is kind of funny also. I think that Joey and Nick bonded on their dad status and like that kind of thing. When I was thinking about, okay, what other girl could fit really well with the team, I was thinking of someone who I did think about height. I thought that's kind of a good thing on the worm. I knew Ashleigh and I were kind of the same height, but I just knew she was a badass. And what I had remembered when she was training with Invictus and I got to train alongside her was that her gymnastics were super solid, but she was also ridiculously strong. And that's what you want. So I begged, I got on my knees.
Were you taking a gamble then on the personality side just because you hadn't really worked closely, or did you know enough?
I knew she was funny. There had been a few times that when she was at Invictus that I was crying. I was laughing so hard. So I knew that was going to be a good fit. But it just, I didn't know that we would become such good friends. I'm glad that we did. Man.
So Joey is very outgoing and very gregarious. Nick is the one that as from an outsider, just doesn't look like is the puzzle piece that fits.
Yeah. But
he like has his moments though. It's like he's quiet, but like when he wants to deliver a good joke, like delivers 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. He's really funny.
So he doesn't talk all the time, but when he does,
it's
listen. You better listen. Nick is so interesting. There's so many things that people have no idea about this guy, and you find out, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
just wild. It's funny.
So I'm gonna go. This isn't even in my notes. You guys were sponsored by a lot of people at Granite Games. Most teams don't have that opportunity. How much do you think it is because the fun that you had on the field or have all the time, and that translates to Ashleigh getting picked up on the CrossFit TikTok and, you having X number of followers, and how much of that you think contributes to that?
That's a good question. Whether it's like doing CrossFit or bobsledding the year before or whatever it might be, like, and I know this is true for Ashleigh as well. I won't speak for her, but I feel like staying genuine and like staying true to who we are is like just what we do. And I hope that people always will see that we, I know I wear my heart on my sleeve, but like we're just enjoying it. And I think people like to see that we can enjoy it and have fun with it, but also be successful in it. And I think that they kind of like, I don't know, they mesh together pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helps you're all badasses as well.
Me too. Yeah, I think it like kind of what piggybacking off of what Kel said, I think her and I both, we act the way that we want to. Like I looked like a complete goober that snatch event. Like I was trying to get Kelsey to play leapfrog before one of the lifts. Like no, yeah, she said, get away from me. You're doing too much. But like I think kind of like she said, we're just genuinely ourselves. We're not saying things that people think we think people want to hear. And I think that goes a long way with people rather than just like reading from a script. And we'll always be honest. We'll always be our true selves, and we'll have a ton of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I know I've followed you a lot longer, Kelsey, but you're even open and raw when it isn't the good times.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that shows your genuineness as well. And people are very receptive to that.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. I've got to ask about the shoes. I didn't know Vans were a CrossFit training shoe.
We're making them one, baby.
They have like a training shoe now, a new style, right? It's been around for a little bit of time that
That's
I've seen
what we
people.
wear.
Yeah.
And so are you connected with them formally, or just you like the shoes?
Yeah, so they've actually, a different CrossFit athlete reached out to them. Apparently, I've heard this through the grapevine, and they said something along the lines of CrossFit's not what, they're not going to sponsor a CrossFit athlete. They're focused on
Yet.
That hurts.
yeah, maybe one day. But honestly, it was, I don't know, like a few people at OBA were wearing the Vans, and I was looking for a new shoe, and I tried it, and I love how light they are and comfortable. And we just kind of rolled with it.
Now all of OBA,
Like our whole gym is
the
in
entire
Vans.
place.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have people tagging me. It's great. I'm like, let's get Vans, by the way, for everyone listening. They have not even opened my DMs. Every single tag of
You're
a
kidding me.
story or
We made them so much money.
Yeah.
So much.
they haven't even looked once, which is hilarious. But
We need to start a campaign.
sponsor us.
I would do that.
And
Do they fit a wide foot? That's all I need to know.
Well, so I have wide feet, and they're
Okay.
super comfortable. I could never do the Metcon because it was always too. I do like nanos because
Okay,
they're
yeah, I do too.
wider. But the Vans just, I don't know. I got them.
Are they unisex sizing?
Well, they have, yeah.
They're
I
like
mean, yeah.
this one, that one, yeah.
I like them.
You're wearing the podium shirt you wore at Granite.
I am actually. You're right.
It's a good eye, Scott.
And yeah, I was there. I saw it. How did you hook up with them? And was it just for Granite, or is it a longer term deal?
No, yeah, they're I'm officially a podium athlete with them, which kind of, I think like the conversation started around Wadapalooza. My teammate at Wadapalooza, who is also going to the games on a team, and her teammate works for Podium. So her teammate, Shay, is my Podium rep. And so we just started chatting. My manager started talking to Podium a little bit more. And I signed with them a couple weeks before Granite Games, but we wanted to kind of wait for the announcement until right before Granite Games. And they were kind enough to help our team out, and got us some gear and got us some product, which was really cool of them. So
yeah, I love the mango fuse.
Their flavors are insane. The
Yeah.
hydro, I'm like scoop after scoop.
I heard that they're not putting any PEDs in their supplements though, so that's kind of a problem for some people.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Right?
it's good for us.
Yeah.
Maybe not so good for the people looking for that, but
I wasn't sure if when we opened, I should have just said congratulations on not
Okay.
topping at the Granite Games. You know, we should just start with that.
It's always a worry though. Like
What a mess.
Hey.
Sure.
tested, you could be taking the cleanest stuff. And I remember like when I got drug tested, I'm like, oh my God, hopefully I didn't snort any cocaine by accident. Like
even that, like I have a supplement for like your gut, and it's like all natural,
Right.
like,
Reds and greens or whatever.
moss, and I'm like, what if there's something in that?
Yeah.
We interviewed Tim Paulson yesterday, and he does not take any supplements, like no protein, no pre-workout, no nothing. And his wife drinks C4, and if she puts it in a bottle, he makes her wash it out and put it in the dishwasher. He won't even like fill it up with anything after she's had her C4 in it.
Wow.
And that's not to say that, you know, C4 is contaminated, but like he's that careful that he won't go near it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Isn't that
because
insane?
C4 is our sponsor and we love it.
Product placement.
How are you feeling about competing against your bestie, Kelly Baker?
It's so funny. Kelly and I actually just did a podcast for Black Iron earlier this week, and so that was brought up. And she actually mentioned that someone said to her, like, "Oh, are you nervous to compete against Kelsey at Granite Games?" And it like never is even like a thought for me. Like I said on the podcast earlier this week, I said I think it'd be a little different if it was like individual and it's like literally just me and her fighting against each other kind of deal. I just like, first of all, I love her more than I love CrossFit. So that's not going to like come between us as friends. But on the team side, it's like we support each other and we want each other to do well. And then we can turn it on and we can be focused on our team and what we have to do.
Yeah. It's almost nice that you guys get to share it in a way.
Yeah. And we were laughing because we were like saying how our moms don't know who to cheer for because they're like, go Kelsey, go Kelly. Like, what jersey do we wear? But yeah.
That's great.
So we don't have to worry when you're a bridesmaid that you're going to like throw the flowers at her or anything.
Yeah, exactly. We're good.
Okay, good.
Ashleigh, tell us a little bit about who does like the programming and all that for your team.
So we kind of mix it up a little bit. So Joey and Kelsey are both brute athletes. I am a mayhem athlete. So most of the team sessions have been done by their coach, Elle. But we've also been mixing in like some of the mayhem workouts, which like seems weird because they're our competitor, but I've always say the goal is to beat them on their own programming.
For real.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So what did you learn most about each other at the Granite Games?
I think kind of like what I said in the beginning. I knew it when I met them, but I just felt like it's always going to be a ride or die group. Kelsey talked a little bit about being nervous for the snatch event and letting your teammates down. And I feel like that nerve comes from just like loving everybody so much. And on teams that I've been with previously, you never want to let your team down, but it like almost came out of fear. Like, oh my God, what are they going to say to me? What are they going to do if I don't do well in this event? And I think myself, I'm more worried about like, I love these people so much and I don't want them to be disappointed. And I just don't want to let them down just out of love.
What about you, Kels?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like a lot of like after doing quarterfinals, we all kind of knew that we had that like switch to turn on like competitor mode. But being able to do it in front of a crowd and doing it like live, I think it was really cool to like see that switch flip in my teammates, like almost that like next level of competitive drive. Like we all have it and we all have seen it in practice and you know, in our own gym, but out there it was pretty cool to like kind of see it turn on a little bit on that the one worm event at Granite Games. I can just remember, I didn't even see his face, but Nick, the quiet one, was like, they don't want it. They don't want it. He's like trying to like amp us up. And I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
This is working.
Like,
was that your first opportunity to like travel and stay together at Granite?
Yeah.
Like gave you a little bit of a dress rehearsal of what it might be like in Carson, listen to me, in Madison, at the games. Like, what are some things you guys are looking forward to in terms of like staying with each other, and like who does the cooking, who's the mother hen? Tell us a little bit about that dynamic.
I feel like it changes off a little bit on like who takes charge. Like I cooked dinner one night. I think Nick's wife is coming. Joey's wife is coming. So they'll probably hook it up. Nick's wife is a chef, so that doesn't hurt. But I think more than anything, like we're just looking forward to spending time with each other. Kelsey and I, like we don't have kids, and so we can kind of hang out anytime. And we do a lot, but with the guys, it's really hard getting to spend time with them when they have young kids and they're both kind of running 2 different gyms. So that time comes very sparingly. And whenever we do get to see each other, it's usually training. So just kind of being out of that environment a little bit, and in Granite Games, watching movies. I think we watched Tropic Thunder, Stranger Things, just like having fun and a little bit more relaxed setting is kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I mean, every time that we hang out, just like as friends, we're just laughing, like try not to pee yourself. You're laughing so hard. And that's always like, that's kind of a good way for us to decompress, which is really nice that we'll be able to do that, a few days before we compete, but also while we're competing.
Yeah. What's the plan for getting out there logistics wise, and where you staying? When you get there?
We get there Monday, which I had a mini panic attack today because someone was like, I thought check-in was on Sunday, but it is for individuals. We check in on Monday.
Okay, good.
We're flying into Chicago, and we're making the drive from Chicago to Madison.
Who will drive?
Nick. Yeah.
Driver?
Yeah, he's a driver, but also it's like his precious cargo in the car. Like his wife at Granite Games, his wife was pregnant at the time. Now they have their baby, but
oh wow.
I was driving the first time and I'm like, I can't do this. There's like too many lives at stake. So I made him drive the rest of the time. But
I just saw a funny like diagram on Instagram. Somebody posted like the dynamic of the car ride. You've got the driver who like has to stay awake and, paying attention. And then you've got the front passenger co-pilot who's like master navigator, can't fall asleep, has to keep up with the conversation. And then I think the people in the back seat are like snack coordinators / random nappers or something like that. So,
or like hold on for dear life because he's driving so fast.
Yes, I do that when I sit in the back seat and my husband drives. So
I feel like you're just pumping.
I do that anytime I ride with Kat.
Oh, stop. I'm an excellent driver.
I wanted to ask, I don't know, it's fun to watch you guys because I'm glad that Kelsey said the switch. Watching Joey for years, and when he was on a team and they needed something, he was the guy that would flip the switch. I've seen Kelsey at Strength and Depth. No, she needed it and flipped the switch. How much fun being on the team with them, Ashleigh, is it to watch that happen?
Yeah.
And get to participate in it.
Yeah, it's cool in a sense, like do that all together, kind of like Kelsey was saying, is you don't really think you have that next level or switch until it happens. And I mean, I think like right before that worm event, the chest to bar worm one, I've never seen Joey more amped up. Like he got us together. He's like, guys, we're fucking winning this workout. Let's go. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And it was just that switch flipped. And it was kind of just like, we saw what we had to do and all executing it together, I think is even cooler. Like doing it by yourself is one thing, but like when you can all come together and at the same time, like know you have to flip the switch, I think is even cooler.
Yeah. He is so small compared to other CrossFit athletes. Yet when the moment is big is when he's the best.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to watch that. So what's the goal this season?
I mean, our goal was kind of the same thing going into Granite. It's hard because there's been so many teams that have been around for so long. So it's easy to say Mayhem's gonna podium, Invictus, all these teams have been around for years and years. I've always told everybody on the team, my goal for us is to train as hard as we possibly can in training and go out there and do the best we can. And as long as that happens, like, I'll be happy with each and every one of them. If we finish first, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah. I fully believe that we can shake up this CrossFit Games leaderboard that I think that a lot of people think, they have their like top hitters for obvious reasons. But, I think that we're kind of this maybe a little dark horse coming in that, is going to have a lot of fun doing it and hopefully kicking ass and taking names.
I like that. Is that Oliver? Is he making noise?
Oh, yes. He's making some little whining noises. But
I have a future girlfriend for him. Come here, Jojo. Come here.
Ooh.
You want to meet your friend? Come here.
Where's Hanky?
Oh, this is my Jojo.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. You see her?
She's a Australian Shepherd Rat Terrier mix.
It's party.
It's a party.
Oh, doggy party. I have two more, but they're too big to lift up to the camera. So.
This is Hank.
And mine's on vacation with my daughter.
Ouch.
Oh.
This is a mama.
Ooh, big yawn.
Big yawn.
Oh no, I've upset the troops. I think they think it's time for. They eat at 5, so they're like, "Oh wait, something's happening." Love our
dogs. those are cute dogs so much. We're a dog friendly show. Every one of our co-hosts has dogs. So, all right. So, what's the celebration for you guys Sunday night after the games?
A lot of food. Everybody says like going out and drinking. I think at Granite Games we had some ice cream and we were in bed by like 11:30.
Yeah, it was the best.
So something along those lines. I just want to get in a food coma.
Yeah. Yeah. Food.
What's the food of choice?
Everything. What's not on the menu?
True.
Pizza.
We went with tacos last time. But
we have poutine. Isn't that a Wisconsin thing?
Oh yeah. The loaded fries or whatever.
Poutine.
We don't have there's no crumble cookies up by you guys, right?
Right.
No, we have insomnia cookies.
Yeah, not as good.
Not the same.
It's kind of overrated.
Yeah, Ashley, you don't know what you're missing here. I'm seriously considering opening up a franchise in Delaware because there aren't any in Delaware. It would be fire.
I would.
She wants to put it in her gym, so that cookies on the way out. Got to come back tomorrow.
Got to earn it.
Earn it back.
Well, guys, we had a blast. This was awesome. You guys are fun. I can't wait to see you in Madison, and hopefully we get there to watch it.
Yes.
Yay. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us and chatting and all of the above.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Bye.